All right, y'all, we're going to be filming a lure comparison. Let's see if I can hold this one up. We've got a Zman MinnowZ 3-inch paddle tail on a 1/4-inch Zman trout eye hook. And then we also have a DOA Cal 3-inch paddle tail on a DOA 1/4-inch hook. Both lures have pretty much the same size profile. They're both root beer gold speckle with a chartreuse tail, which is a good inshore kind of backcountry color. One of my favorites for a long time, ever since I started fishing saltwater. So just going to do a lure comparison. We'll fish about 15 minutes, then switch, basically switching back and forth between these lures every 15 minutes. We're going to total up how many fish are caught on each lure, and then make a comparison at the end. We're also going to compare, at the end, we're going to compare price difference, as well as durability of the lures, and see which one holds up, if they're comparable, or if one or the other is tougher on these fish's mouths. So, all right, so I'm going to go get these tied up, and then we'll be back shortly. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and start off this comparison with a DOA Cal 3-inch paddle tail with root beer gold body and a chartreuse tail on a 1/4-ounce jig head. We're up kind of a marshy tidal creek that's got quite a bit of flow to it, and there is some activity around this train trestle. So one thing I like to do with paddle tails is cast, then let it sink all the way to the bottom, and then start reeling it in from there, just with a straight retrieve. At least that's how I start it. You can jig it if you're in deep water, which I believe we are in fairly deep water. Oh, yeah, there we go. So about 5 foot deep right here, and then probably out in the middle between 6 and 8 feet. But so I'm letting that sink to the bottom, and then I'm go ahead and start reeling straight. I'm also casting up current and then letting the lure come back with the current, because that's typically how bait is going to get flushed in an environment like this. Whoops, just bounced it off the bridge piling. That's okay. We'll let it sink to the bottom and work it back from right there. There was a bite from something. Oh, something small. Oh, what is going on with this line to leader knot? Oh, come on. What on earth happened here? Ended up with some sort of a knot getting tied on accident from the slack when I bounced off the side of that bridge. All right, we're gonna have to cut and retie this. Alrighty, we are switching to the Zman 3-inch paddle tail. I think it's called the MinnowZ with a Z at the end, on a 1/4-ounce trout eye jig head. Same size and color and profile as the DOA Cal, just a different material, and as far as I can tell, just looking at it here in the water, it does seem to have more wiggle to the tail, a little bit more action, so we'll see if that makes a difference. The DOA Cal material seems to be stiffer. Oh, there we go, there's a fish. There's a fish. Oh, hello. Whoop. Little baby snook. All right. Cease. All right, I better get my hands wet for you, because I don't want to hurt you. Here we go. Look at that pretty little snook. All right, let's take a quick picture with the phone. All right, buddy, time to go. Oh, all right, he go. bottom and then just reeling straight back. All right, with periodic pauses, because I think we did that for the first 10. Whoop, there we go. There's another fish. 10 or so minutes. Oh, there was another snook. He jumped and came off. I don't think I set the hook hard enough on that one. All right, let's set our drag a little bit tighter too, in the event that we catch something a little bigger and he goes for one of these pilings. All righty. So there's one snook and then a jumped off snook right away on the Zman paddle tail. It skips slightly better than the DOA Cal, in my opinion. Although the DOA Cal doesn't, I mean, it skips. Oh, there we go. That is another snook, about the same size class as the one I lost. All right, buddy, come here. Oh, no, sir. Let's see if I can do this without getting, whoop. Come on, buddy, I don't want to squeeze you too hard. Cut by his gill plate. There we go. Beautiful little snook. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's take a quick picture. After this one, I don't think I'm gonna bother with pictures unless I catch something a lot bigger. All right, there we go. Bye-bye, sir. Man, there's kind of a little pocket right here. There we go. There's another one. There's another snook. All right, sir. Oh man, these little snook are really rambunctious. Okay, okay, okay. Whoop. Better wet the hands. Okay, okay, okay. Hang on, hang on, hang on. All right, let me get your lip. Oh, here we go. That's pretty cool. Well, not cool for him. Cool for us to see. Check that out. Somebody tried to take a bite out of him. I'd be curious if that's a gar that tried to do that or what. But all right, so there's snook number 3 on the Zman. Let's get him back in the water. All right, y'all, we are back to the DOA Cal. There's a nice little rip, current rip right here, coming across this bend. So I want to see if we can get bit by anything as we go. There we go. There's something good. Oh, there we go. That's a nice snook. There we go, sir. Whoa. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Whoop. He jumped in the net and that DOA Cal came off. Perfect. All right, I felt him thump it. I thought it might be something small. Came back and nailed it. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right, we're gonna put this in as insurance. Hold still, buddy. I got my hand wet. Get him out of the net. Hello, sir. Want to get a quick measurement too. All right, let's get that wet. Now that's a good fish. He is beautiful 22 incher. All right, I'm taking a picture of you, sir. And we're gonna get you back in the water and released. wet. And there we go. All right, we got you on the booger grip. I don't know if y'all can see him on the camera still. Let me, whoop. All right. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. There we go. He's gone. He was trying to jump back in. Alrighty. Beautiful snook. Beautiful snook right there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and, all right, that was a beautiful snook on the DOA Cal. So we're gonna go ahead and, so I accidentally deleted video, but I caught 2 redfish. Here's a couple of pictures in addition to that snook. These were on the DOA Cal. All right, y'all, so these are the scores from fishing the Zman 3-inch paddle tail versus DOA Cal, both in root beer gold with a chartreuse tail color. For Zman, we ended up catching 3 snook. And remember that the game fish / desirable species are 2 points each, so 2 points per snook gives us 6 points total. And then on the DOA Cal, we caught 2 reds and 1 snook, so that's 2 points per fish for a total of 6 points on the DOA Cal as well. So as far as the catch score goes, we ended up with a tie. So, all right, so next, and for those who happen to follow Paul Harrell's YouTube channel, I'm kind of borrowing his technique of writing things down on paper so y'all can see what's going on. This page is a little over complex maybe, but just trying to show you an idea of what it costs to buy these lures so that y'all can decide which ones are more cost effective for you. So for the Z-Man, we paid $4.99 per 6-pack of paddle tails. That comes out to 83 cents per paddle tail per lure. Comparing that to the DOA Cal, we've got $4.99 for a 10-pack, so more lures per pack, comes out to 50 cents per lure. The jig heads, the Z-Man jig heads are $5.49 for a 3-pack of jigs, so $1.83 per jig. The DOA Cal are a little bit cheaper, so $4.73 also for a 3-pack. And that comes out to $1.60 per jig. So the overall cost, we're looking at $2.66 per lure for the Z-Man, and then $2.10 for the DOA Cal lures. So DOA wins on cost. They are a little bit cheaper overall. So if cost of the lures is a big thing to you, then you may want to look at the DOA Cal line of paddle tails. All right, so next thing is durability. So for the Z-Man fishing, I lost 1 tail. I didn't actually lose it, but it kind of got torn up enough from getting pulled that it wasn't staying on the hook anymore on the jig head. I mean, I can probably just glue it and keep fishing with it in future, but for testing purposes, I don't modify the lures or add glue or make any changes. I want to show the lures basically how they're going to be out of the box. So 1 tail lost its ability to stay on the jig head, so minus 83 cents. Now for this score, the bigger the number, the smaller the negative number, the worse the score is. So we're losing money. So coming over to the DOA Cal, we lost 2 jig heads, or sorry, 2 paddle tails. 1 paddle tail, the little tail got bitten off completely, and then the other one just lost its ability to stay on the jig. So that's 2 tails down. We didn't lose a jig, but it got hung up. I got hung up on the bottom a couple times on oysters or who knows what's down there. Actually on both lures. Both lures got hung up on oysters on the bottom. And the DOA jig head, the hook point got dulled because of that. The Z-Man jig head did not get dulled. So for whatever reason, either, I don't know, better quality metal, better tempering, who knows. Anyway, so that's minus 1 jig, minus 2 tails for the DOA Cal. So we lost $2.60. So the Z-Man wins on durability. All right, y'all, so just showing a close-up of what these lures look like. So we have the Z-Man up here, at the top and then DOA Cal at the bottom. Just giving you all a closer look at the lures themselves and the jig heads. Same profile, same size and profile, really almost no difference in that, at least not that the fish are going to be able to tell really when it's cruising through the water at a kind of a medium speed, which is pretty typical for how you would work a paddle tail. I guess the colors are slightly different just because it's a slightly different chemical and plastic that they use, but again, it's close enough. They're both listed as root beer gold with chartreuse tail. The biggest difference between the two is going to be the wiggle from the tail. The Zman is much more flexible versus the DOA Cal is a bit stiffer, though still has a pretty good wiggle. The other big difference between the two is that the Zman floats. So when you stop it and it sinks to the bottom, what you end up having is the lure sitting on the bottom with the tail up in the air, just kind of wiggling with the motion of the current or whatever the water's doing. Or if you're reeling it really slow, you're going to have it kind of bumping the bottom and doing this with that tail flared up in the air. Versus the DOA Cal, when you let it sink to the bottom, it just falls down and ends up on its side, kind of like this. And if you reel it slowly, it just kind of crawls along the bottom sideways like that. So in my opinion, the Zman gives a little bit better action, both at normal speed as well as if you're going really slow, say for a wintertime fishery. But in today's test, the fish, there really was no difference in catching them. But just something to be aware of if you want a lure that has a bit more action, especially when you're using it subtly, you may want to go for the Zman. Just something to consider, to factor into your decision. So I realized at the end of filming the pieces of this video and then trying to put everything together, somehow the video when I caught those two reds on the DOA Cal is corrupted or deleted or something. I can't find them on my GoPro anymore, so I'm not sure what happened. So apologies for that. I'm still a new YouTuber and new to all this video, recording video, saving it, editing it, uploading it, all that stuff. So apologies that the two redfish are missing. But to finish out the outro of this video, overall conclusion is actually inconclusive. Personally, I can't really recommend either the Zman or the DOA. Based on the results of this video, they both caught the same number of fish. They both each caught 3 fish. And then as far as cost goes, your DOA is going to be a bit cheaper, but then for durability, the Zman wins that. So overall, everything kind of comes out in the wash. I do have plans in the spring and summer, once things warm up, to do some follow-up videos and more 3-inch paddle tail comparisons. So maybe we'll get some conclusive results there. But overall conclusion, my overall opinion is they're both great lures. DOA lures have been out on the market for coming up on something like half a century. They're an old classic. They catch a lot of fish, and they're very hard to beat. And then the Zman is a relatively newer company, newer lure, but they do have a lot of promise. So I think there are different pros and cons to each one, but overall they're, I think, great lures. So hopefully this video gave you some things to think about and consider if you're looking to either get into fishing and trying to decide what to buy, or if you're trying to reorganize your tackle boxes and become more efficient for the type of fishing you do and what your needs are. So hopefully you got something useful out of this video. So thanks, bye.